Hello McDowell, I'm Unger and this is the Trojan Blitz, a sports highlight show produced by the students that covers the students, made for the students. We'll be talking men's soccer against Prep, Lady Trojans volleyball against Mercer, and oh yeah, we have an exclusive interview with McDowell legend Ty Morris. Let's get started.
The boys soccer team taking on Cathedral Prep at Gus Anderson Field. In the 12th minute, the Trojans get out to an early lead as Hanko finds Brian Donnelly for the score. That was a top 5 nominee. However, the lead wouldn't last long. In the 21st minute, Ramblers coming back. Tommy Russo puts it between Josh Hanko's legs for the score. The game would be tied at 1. Joey Newell came up huge for the Trojans. He had a ton of good saves, keeping the score tied at 1. Prep had the ball in McDowell's half for much of the first and second halves, but Joey Newell kept him in the game. The tie would come to an end in the 59th minute. Trojans have the ball in their half. The kick is saved. Oh no, it goes off the crossbar. Frank Gamboa has a chance to put it in. Ball gets knocked around a bit, and Matty Z finally puts it in. Trojans take a 2-1 lead. However, the lead wouldn't last long. In the 67th minute, Tommy Russo again with the ball, and he puts it in the net. The game tied at 2 now. The game would go over to overtime. Here's an opportunity for the Trojans. Josh Hanko kicks it in, and the header is no good. Ramblers had a very good opportunity here. He kicks it. Joe Newell can't stop it, but luckily it goes off the crossbar. The game would go on to end in a tie at 2-2.
Girls water polo taking on Fairview in the debut of water polo here on the Trojan Blitz. Right off the bat, Jenna DePlacido top shelf for the goal. Later on, Jenna DePlacido hustles another one down, able to lay it past the Fairview goaltender for her second of the game. Even later, Jessica Cawley forces the turnover, brings it coast to coast herself, ends up putting a floater past the keeper from a long way out. Fairview not happy with that one. Cawley finds DePlacido again, who can bring it into traffic, draws a couple of defenders, and finds Emma Springer for an easy goal down low. Isabel Vieira finds Jenna DePlacido down at the other end. Her entire performance on the 17th earns a Trojan Top 5 nomination, as that's her 4th of the game. Number 5 right there. Last one will show you, down at the other end, 2-0, Jenna DePlacido with the one-timer, making it look easy. Isabel Vieira here with another nomination with a huge save on the way to a McDowell blowout victory. McDowell Trojans taking on Easton football. Earlier in the game, the McDowell defense was forcing turnovers all over the place. Here, Vantuan Lindsay drops back and throws. Dane Eberly gets under it for the interception. Eberly, who played running back earlier in his McDowell career, couldn't quite get there, but Ty Hammond punched it in. Later on, Bomeni Bronson, fumble forced by Justin Sawicki. Jared Carlson scoops it up and takes it to the house for 6. McDowell up 14-0. This time, Vantuan Lindsay drops back and he's sacked by the sophomore Kyle Rice, putting the Trojans up 16-0. This is only midway through the first quarter. Later on, Trojans on offense now. Jared Carlson from about 15-20 yards out, he goes untouched for his second touchdown of the game. Later on, Tarasovich drops back, finds Didi Zimzak on the screen, and Didi turns on the afterburners and no one will catch him. McDowell just bringing the hammer down early on against East. Trojan Top 5 nomination here as Jared Carlson catches his 3rd touchdown of the game on a quick slant. This was all in the first quarter. The final score, McDowell 44, East 8.
The McDowell girls soccer team taking on Mercyhurst at Veterans Stadium. And in the 13th minute, Annie Carone deflects it off her shin. Cameron Bujanowski picks it up and scores. Trojans take an early 1-0 lead. The Trojans up 2-0 now. However, in the 34th minute, Mercyhurst would have an opportunity here as Sydney Johnson assists Hannah Merchant for the goal. Second half would be all Mercyhurst as Morgan Perkins puts in her first goal of the game. Later in the half, Mariah L with an opportunity to tie the game. She gets off a good shot. Looks like it's going in, but just hits off the crossbar. The dagger for Mercyhurst coming late in the second half as Morgan Perkins puts in her second goal of the game. She would lead Mercyhurst to a 4-2 victory.
McDowell girls volleyball looking to avenge the soccer team. First set, Mercyhurst on the serve. Alex Zielinski gets to it first, and Katie Yost finds Leah Wenzel for the bump over her head back into Mercyhurst play. Zielinski gets the first crack at it yet again for McDowell. This time Wenzel finds Yost. Still no luck here as Mercyhurst is able to play it with ease. This time Kirsten Platz goes up for the real solid block. Later on, Wenzel gets to it first. Keely Law finds Kirsten Platz, who will not be denied. Mercyhurst on the serve again now for set point. Rachel Bailey finds Leah Wenzel, no luck there. This time Jordan Sturm finds Wenzel, and the second time's a charm as that wins the set for McDowell. Moving on to the second set now. Mercyhurst on the serve yet again. Katie Yost gets to it first, and Leah Wenzel puts it up for Delaney Soule, who gets blocked there. Wenzel and Sturm find Soule again as she takes advantage of the second opportunity. Moving ahead in the set now. Keely Law gets the first crack at it, and Leah Wenzel finds Katie Yost. Mercyhurst able to play it back to the Trojans. This time around, Law gets the first crack at it again. Leah Wenzel puts it up and laying down the Law to win the second set. Third set now. Match point, who other than Leah Wenzel with an ace for the victory.
The McDowell mob took Capture the Flag to a whole nother level on Friday, September 12th against Prep at Veterans Stadium. The mob took Prep's flag in the third quarter and brought this rivalry to a whole nother level. We caught up with the living legend himself, Ty Morris. Was there a plan to steal Prep's flag going into the game?
Yeah, there was. Max Kerr and Jack Rise actually came up with the plan. Jack supplied all the Prep clothes, and I mean, it was never my plan. I was never supposed to do it, but when it came down to it, I ended up stepping up and just doing it.
So, as you were on your way over there from the mob, what was going through your mind?
I honestly went over there thinking, you know, I was cold. It was a cold night. I was cold. I was kind of bored. It was getting boring, and I went over there and I was like, I did not expect to get the flag. I was like, I'll stay over there. You know, I'll wait. Probably get beat up, but I don't know. I stood there for like 25 minutes, just in the front row of their section. You know, just cheering with them. Had a hat pull over my head, make sure no one could notice me, and. One kid ended up putting the flag down, so I grabbed it. I grabbed it from some kid, and I was like, hey, let me run around with it. And he's like, yeah, go for it. I just walked up and left.
And no one came after you?
Nope. No. I mean, I didn't like sprint away and make it obvious. I just kind of, you know, walked out. And then it's like right when I got to mid-end zone, we scored. And then that's when I ripped off my hat and I started running, and I needed to get over there because everyone was already freaking out. So. It got pretty loud for a few minutes.
How do you feel about people calling you a living legend for stealing the flag?
I mean, I don't think I'm really a legend. It was pure luck. I mean, I just kind of stood there and waited for an opportunity, and it happened. But a legend, I mean, I didn't really do anything crazy. I didn't like fight some kids for it.
Would you do it again?
I mean, yeah, if they have no idea about it, but I feel like now, I mean, it'll never happen again because they're going to keep that thing locked up. They're going to be expecting it almost.
How do you feel about Prep chanting "We Want Ty" at other McDowell Prep events?
Did they do that?
They did at the McDowell Prep soccer game last Tuesday.
Wow. I mean, I almost went to that, but I mean, honestly, I work with a couple Prep guys, a couple guys that were on the football team, and you know, they think it's funny. They're actually mad at their section for letting it happen. So I'm not really worried about anyone coming up and like fighting me or something, because I mean, I'm not going to fight you. It was just a joke.
The McDowell girls soccer team taking on Central Tech at home. In the 14th minute, Central Tech would take an early 1-0 lead as Abby Griner puts it over the goalie's head and into the goal. However, Mariah Ella would lead the Trojans back, scoring her first goal of the game, putting it over the goalie's head and into the net. Again in the 18th minute, Mariah Ella, no one stopping her as she trips over the goalie and puts it into the net. A penalty kick here as she puts in her third goal of the game. Mariah Ella leads the Trojans to a 3-1 victory.
Now for our last segment, the Trojan Top 5.
The number 5 play coming from Isabel Vieira as she robs Fairview of a goal in lay to a McDowell blowout victory.
Number 4, Jared Carlson put up 3 touchdowns against East on September 19th, returning a fumble for a touchdown, rushing for a touchdown, and catching a touchdown.
The number 3 play coming from the McDowell Prep soccer game as the direct kick goes from Josh Hango to Brian Donnelly for the score. Trojans would go on to tie that game 2-2.
Sticking with soccer for the number 2 performance, Mariah Elwell with the hat trick against Central Tech, this time taking out the goalie on her way and the last one being a penalty kick.
And the number 1 performance coming from Jenna DePlacido as she scores 6 goals in a blowout victory over Fairview. That's all we got for today, folks. I'm Vinny Carone.
And I'm Adam Unger, and we'll see you next time here on the Trojan Blitz.